What's up, guys? Hopefully you can hear me. It's very windy. I'm at the Quakes game right now. They haven't opened the stadium up yet. So still waiting to get in, but still here. Gonna do our Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. You guys can hear me. You guys can hear me. Hi, Brian. It all sounds good. Like, hello. I'm trying to figure, oh, there it is. All right, cool. Glad you can hear me. My service isn't the best out here, so it's like kind of weird on my end, but let me, hello. All right, so, ooh. All right, perfect. There we go. Looks like everything's showing up. All right, yes, go Quakes. Hopefully we can get the win tonight. The Dodger game starts in about 40 minutes, so I'll be listening to that on my headphones. So I won't have a recap for that game tonight, but I will be showing you guys around the Quakes Stadium. So if you guys have never been here or to a minor league game at all, we will have to kind of figure that out, and I'll show you guys around so you can see what it looks like. If you ever have the chance to go to a minor league game, go to a minor league game. But other than that, let's jump into some questions. The first one from Brian: who do you expect aside from Smith to be called up? Until September call-ups, I don't expect anyone to be called up except for Smith. Obviously, September call-ups, I see a lot more guys coming up, like Ruiz. We might actually see DJ Peters. I do think there's a possibility Dustin May or Tony Gonsolin could possibly get called up, but I think that only comes if there's injuries, and of course we don't want injuries, so I want to see them come up here, but I don't want to see anyone get hurt, and that's why they have to come up here. But I for sure think all those guys, Ruiz may even get a September call-up this year. I think the biggest thing for Smith and Ruiz this year is sorry about that, is their hitting against big league pitching. They struggled a lot, so especially in spring training, they struggled a lot against big league hitting or pitching. So you don't want to rush them, don't want to screw up their development, but I do think Smith will be up sooner rather than later. So hope he does well. Thank you. My makeshift tripod is doing its job for now. It keeps turning a little bit, so I'm trying to keep it straight. But who do you see winning the NL East and Central? The NL Central is a tough one. So is the East. They have so many good, both divisions have a lot of really good teams. The Central, I see the Brewers coming away with it. They're too good of a team. We've seen that from playing them. As for the East, that's a really hard one. I think it'll be the Braves or the Phillies. I think it all just kind of comes down to pitching. Whoever's pitching comes up the most, because I think both teams have very, very, very good offense. But yeah, the Mets are there too, but they also, I think Jacob deGrom just went on the DL today, so I don't really see that helping them out anytime soon. So I don't know, we'll see. As for what seed do you see us getting for the postseason, I see us having the #1 NL seed. Who's your cousin? Texas Savage. As for the seed itself, out of all the teams, I could see us going in with possibly the 3 seed. The only issue is, oh, that's awesome. Hope he does well, as long as it's not against the Dodgers. Sorry. The American League is not as difficult as the National League. The teams are not as balanced as easily. In the National League, the teams are very good almost all the way across. Obviously we have teams like the Giants and stuff and the Diamondbacks. However, those teams are still better than the bottom of the barrel teams in the American League. So I think American League has it a little bit easier because they can rack up more wins against crappy teams, where the NL team is much more, the NL League, National League is much more competitive in my opinion. When will Martin return? They said today he's doing a little bit better from the back spasms. They're taking it slow because they're not 100% sure yet. However, they did say they think he will need a rehab game. So I don't expect to see him back until at least a rehab game. I don't know if he'll need 1 or 2, probably depends. They said it wasn't that serious. Seems like it's kind of taken a little bit longer than we all hoped for. But hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so, just because I don't really want to face the I was reading one of the comments. I don't really want to see Rocky Gale up here much longer. It's no offense to him. We need our best options out there all time. Last year we saw what happens when you don't win these early games of the season. You end up in game 163. So no more of that this year. Every game counts. So I hope Martin is back sooner rather than later, because we need him up here a lot more than what Rocky Gale is going to give for us. Do you think Joe Kelly should be sent down for a bit? No, I do not. I know that is probably an unpopular opinion. Joe Kelly is a big leaguer. His stuff is nasty. The issue is his command. I think with a guy like him, you send him down, it's a confidence thing. He didn't look great last night, but he didn't look bad. Yes, Alex Verdugo bailed him out, throwing the runner out at home. However, he's still a big league pitcher. You've got to get him in there. You've got to get him comfortable in the situations. He's looked better his last couple outings. He looked good his outing the other night at Dodger Stadium. I think he needs more work. The more he's in there facing big league hitters, the better. Come on. All right. I don't think, are we live? I think we're live. My thing froze and said reconnected. Okay, there we go. We're live again. Not a baseball question, but do you use only your iPhone? Yes, I only record with my iPhone. I don't know why the screen's darkening on my end now. I can't see. My service is really bad out here. But yes, I only use my iPhone to record. I don't use a camera. I don't have time or the really money to carry around a giant camera. I don't think it's necessary nowadays. Phones are, as you guys can see, every single video I've done is shot on an iPhone 8 Plus. So the quality is good enough there, in my opinion. Whoa. No, I didn't get my Buehler bobblehead yet. The gates open at 6:10, so I'll get that, and that will be put up on tonight's vlog, so you guys can check that out. The NL team I fear the most is the frickin' Cardinals. I hate that team. They're the only team in the National League that worries me, and it's not because they're better than us. It's just because for some reason we don't play that well against them. But I think if it comes down to it, if it's the playoffs, it's do or die, win or go home. I am going to take my chances with the Dodgers over the Cardinals any day of the week. We just have the better overall team. If I could design a bobblehead for the Dodgers, who would you want? So this may sound super, super basic, but the Dodgers haven't done it. But I think a bobblehead of Clayton Kershaw doing his 2 arms up in the air, you can't really see it, but when he threw that no-hitter would be amazing. It actually kind of bothers me that they haven't done anything for him in regards to his no-hitter when it comes to bobbleheads. That seems super, super, just super easy to do, and I don't know why you wouldn't want to kind of do something like that. I wish we could do Jackie Robinson, but out of respect for his widow, I believe she does not want any bobbleheads done for him, so of course we have to respect that. But other than that, I wish the Dodgers would do more bobbleheads off of like actual in-game moments. Like you see like the one of like Cody and Kike pointing when they've hit home runs, and like that's cool and all, but why not do a Cody Bellinger one where he's like sliding on his stomach from that game with against the Milwaukee Brewers in last year NLCS. Like that's the kind of stuff I want to see. That stuff's really cool. Or like Turner putting his 2 hands out after he hit that home run. Oh no, they did do that. Sorry, I can't talk trash on them. They did do that. But stuff like that, there's just some of them are really boring to me. Like the Walker Buehler one they did. It's just kind of like he shows so much energy as a pitcher. They could have done so much more, in my opinion, than what they did for him. And like looking back at the Manny Machado one last year, like he had his hands behind his back. It just made no sense to me. So I wish they would step their bobblehead game up. What is the Ryu or Urias question mark? Are you asking which one's better or who I would prefer in the starting rotation more? If you let me know what you're thinking, then I'll get you back with an answer. I think a Yankees-Dodgers World Series would actually be a lot of fun. Hi, Tim. But I think Dodgers Yankees World Series would bring back a lot of memories for the older generation who lived through that. Like myself, I did not live through that. I don't fully understand the rivalry like some of the people who lived through that did, but I think it'd be a lot of fun to bring that one back out for the younger generation as well as myself. Let me see. What will this team look like in September? They're going to look better than they do right now, I can tell you that. The only thing holding this team back from kind of taking off, in my opinion, is health. The fact that we've got Kershaw back, we saw the other day, huge sign. We're getting Ryu back tomorrow, another huge sign. Great that we will be getting him back sooner rather than later, obviously tomorrow. And then when we get Rich Hill back, we have our top rotation set. Obviously, you would like Urias to be in there. However, because of his limited innings, you don't want to throw too many this early in the season. So that's just my opinion on that. I think we're going to be very good. I am not stressing about this team in the slightest. This is a really, really good team, guys. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but this is a hell of a team we got, and they're not going to get any worse than they did in that 6-game losing streak. And I am I'm going to say this, and you guys can hold me to it, whatever it may be. I promise you the Dodgers are not going to go on another 6-game losing streak this season. It's just not going to happen. I just don't see it happening at all. Or a Kike Banana bobblehead. That would be funny, yes. I could possibly show you guys my bobblehead collection. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot. I kind of went through some financial issues last year and pretty much sold out my whole collection. So the only ones I have are a few from last year and then whatever this year is. So maybe at the end of this season I'll show you guys, just because unfortunately right now I really don't have that many. Ryu or Urias for the roster spot? Well, if you're talking about the roster, they're both on the roster, so we don't have to worry about that. If you're talking about rotation, it's hard for me to pick one or two in a row. It's hard. I want to see Urias in there as much as possible because he's incredible. We've seen that, his talent, his stuff. I mean, he struck out 9 guys last night. That's a career high for him, and he did it in a matter of 6 innings, half the batters he faced. So that's incredible. However, you don't want to risk hurting his shoulder. He's 22 years old. It is not worth it to have, I think he's 22, right? Someone can correct me if not. It is not worth it having him out there and getting hurt just so he can throw more innings this year, because if he gets hurt and hurts his shoulder again, he might be done for years, if not his whole career. So let's all hope that that's not the case. And I actually really, really like what Ryu does. He struggles on the road, but if they can work a way around keeping him at home during the playoffs, I think he'll be one of our best pitchers out there. Do we need a closer? I'm going to say no. I love Jansen. I see him only getting better. I know he struggled a little bit. I would absolutely love if the Dodgers signed Kimbrel. Unfortunately, I don't see it happening. It's going to be really hard to sign someone like Kimbrel and convince him that he's not going to be the full-time closer, and it's going to be really hard to convince Jansen that he's not going to be a full-time closer and that they're both going to share the role. I believe Jansen has an opt-out after this season. I don't think he will opt out. However, I do think the Dodgers after this season might have to start looking in the direction of somebody else to take over that role. Just because Jansen's getting up there in age, you don't know his health, any of that. So I kind of think that they could, it's not going to happen this year, in my opinion. It'll happen, but I don't think it'll happen this year. Do you think Yimi and or Stewart? I think Yimi and Stewart will be off the 40-man roster, actually, just to let you guys know. So the thing with Yimi Garcia is he does not have any options. So if they want to get rid of him, he has to be traded or he has to be DFA'd. Someone that young who does have the talent, you don't really want to just DFA him and get rid of him and let another team pick him up without getting anything for him. So I kind of feel like what the Dodgers may be doing right now is showcasing him a little bit, and if he does good enough, they might try to trade him. I don't really see him sticking around. As for Brock Stewart, I am praying that he is gone and traded before the deadline. I don't think he has a place in the Dodgers organization. This team is just too good. The depth is too strong. It just, in my mind, there's absolutely no point in having either of them, or at least Stewart. I think Yemi has shown he's got it these last couple games, and that he has the potential. But Brock Stewart, I can't stand watching him out there. If there's one area you want to see the team improve, it would be the bullpen. I don't really think there's any starters out there right now that could help our team get any better. But I do think that we could always add bullpen pieces. I don't pay enough attention to other teams to tell you who those bullpen pieces should be. But I do think they could upgrade. I do think they could upgrade the bullpen, and I would not be surprised at all to see a trade like we had the last 2-3 years at the deadline for more bullpen pieces. Damn, 60 bobbleheads. That is pretty impressive. I hope to get, wow, you guys only get 2 or 3. Yeah, the Dodger fans get a crap load, shitload, whatever. They get a lot of bobbleheads. We get like 10 to 15 a year. It's insane. I don't know about moving Max Muncy to second base. I like him in there, but I think it's better at first base. It's also hard to keep Kike out of the lineup right now, but I do think that they could. My hardest thing is Jock, Bellinger, and Verdugo are all hitting really well right now, and Verdugo needs to be in there more. And the only way to do that is to sit Jock, which isn't really going to happen, or to sit Pollock, which isn't going to happen. Just because he's A.J. Pollock, he's a veteran. They're not going to sit him. He's very good when he's on. Obviously, he's been struggling a little bit, but he's looked better these last 2 games. But I think for now, they keep Muncy at first and find a way to get Verdugo in there. If anything, like you mentioned right now, Kike will cool down, yes, but until he does, I don't think you pull him out of that lineup. I don't think Kike will really he might end up being there for the whole season, but we'll have to wait and see how that one goes. Nope, Mike Scioscia can stay as far away from this team as possible. Dave Roberts signed an extension. That's the way it would be. I know a lot of people do not like Dave Roberts, but a lot of people need to understand that a lot of the moves Dave Roberts makes are not 100% on him. He listens to the front office. Those are his bosses. So you have to understand, not every move Roberts is making when it comes to platooning, setting up the lineup, that's not all on him. You got to do what your bosses want you to do if you want to keep your job. He's making most of the calls in game, but I'm sure he's getting plenty of feedback from the front office and the analytics department on what he should do. Roberts is great with this team. No other manager in the previous 29 years before he showed up got them to the World Series, let alone 2 years in a row. So I'm certainly not going to question what Dave Roberts is doing because it is working very well. We just need to win in the World Series. We need our guys on the field to step up in the World Series. I'd like to see a home run from Kershaw too. That'd be pretty awesome. I didn't ever get to see the last one. If Jansen hit a grand slam, I would die laughing. That would be the greatest thing ever. He wasn't, so let's see. Dodgers Russell Martin has begun baseball-specific activities. He caught on flat grounds. There's a little bit update on Martin for those of you who want to know. Jansen was actually a catcher, and then the Dodgers turned him into a pitcher. So he can swing the bat really well, or decently, I shouldn't say really well. Obviously hasn't done it in years, but I don't think they want him swinging the bat at all because you don't want a guy like that to get hurt out there swinging the bat, whatever he could do. He's your closer, so. But I'm sure he could hit the ball pretty well if he wanted to. It's been a long time, but I would never expect Jansen to hit a home run because he doesn't even swing the bat. He wanted to in Colorado and he didn't, so that'll probably never happen, but I would die if it did. I hope the Dodgers tee off tonight. Yeah, I'm not going to say Yelich is better than Bellinger. That's not happening here. No, Dallas Keuchel, I don't know. He can stay very, very far away. If you look him up on Fangraphs, read what they have to say about him. He's lost some of his velocity. He's lost some of the break in his pitches. Unfortunately, we already have a pitcher like that in Clayton Kershaw, but Clayton Kershaw is much better. His stuff is nastier, in my opinion. We don't need another pitcher who's struggling with his velocity. There's nobody on the starting rotation that he would be better than. So that's kind of my opinion on that. As for Craig Kimbrel, I've said this plenty of times and I will continue to say it. I wish the Dodgers would sign him. I don't think it'll happen though. So I'm not going to tell you guys what to do, but you may want to possibly move on from that, just because I wouldn't get your hopes up. It could happen. I have no idea what they're going to do behind that, but it could happen. But I just don't think it will. It always could, but I don't think it will. Bellinger or the opening day's homers? I'm not sure what you mean. No, I am not from Los Angeles. I'm actually from Orange County. Never lived in LA. I live down the street from Angel Stadium, but I was born and raised a Dodger fan, and it's stuck with me ever since. Very happy I did not grow up an Angel fan. Do we need to make any moves right now? No, in my opinion, we don't. It's too early in the season to be worrying about making moves. You need to see where the team is actually struggling. You don't want to make any moves too prematurely into the season. And what does my hat say? That's the Quakes logo. So it's the Dodgers single A team in Rancho Cucamonga. That's where I'm at right now for the game, just waiting for the gates to open. It's on my jersey too, but it's Quakes. So I wasn't even born when the Dodgers won in 1988. That's why I'm so desperate for a World Series now. So I didn't, unfortunately, ever get to do that. I can agree with that. I would rather see Pollock batting leadoff than third, just because he is a more get on base kind of guy in my opinion than he is a power guy. So I would like to see him batting leadoff. But right now Jock's doing really well in that position, so it's hard to imagine they move him from there either. But anyways, I need to go because the Dodger game's starting in about 15 minutes. I don't know if they are. If there's a soccer team named that too. I don't pay attention to soccer, sorry. But other than that, I have to go because I want to listen to the Dodger game, and I can't do that when I'm using my phone and my iPad here. So thank you guys for logging on, and thanks for the questions. I appreciate it. I would love to have Christian Yelich on the Dodgers. I actually talked to him about that back in December, and he kind of smiled. It's where he's from, born and raised, so I'm sure he'd love to come here too. I don't know what'll happen with that when he's a free agent. We'll have to see if the Brewers try and keep him a little bit longer. But other than that, well, if you have a question, just go ahead and put it in the comment section and I will respond to you. I have to go right now, but I appreciate you guys tuning in, and as always, I had fun, and I will see you guys next week for the Q&A, and let's go Dodgers, go